Welcome back. Reading the Bible with Loke. Pick right back up where we left off. Esther 2. After these things, when the wrath of Xerxes had subsided, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what had been decreed against her. What? Once he sobered up, then the king's attendants who served him said, "Let beautiful young virgins be sought for the king. Let the king appoint administrators in all the provinces of his kingdom and have them gather all the beautiful young virgins to the citadel in Susa and to the harem, under the custody of Haggai, the king's eunuch, who was in charge of the women, and let their beauty preparations be given to them." I'm sorry. I thought I had a little. You know how they do Real Houses, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then they have their makeup all done, and then I just imagine like he had that all set up. Then let the young women who pleases the king be queen in place of Vashti. This pleased the king, and he did accordingly. There was a certain Jew in the citadel of Susa whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shimi, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been deported from Jerusalem with the captives who had been exiles with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had exiled. He was the guardian of Hadassah, that is, Esther, his uncle's daughter. What? So, Mordecai's uncle's daughter. So, your cousin? For she had no mother or father. This young woman was beautiful of form and face. And when her father and mother died, Mordecai took her in. It sounds dangerous. I'm just kidding. So it came about when the king's command and his decree were proclaimed, and when many young women were gathered together in the citadel of Susa, into the custody of the little buddy that they said they were going to get custody to, Esther was taken into the king's palace, into the custody of your boy again, who was in charge of the women. Now, when the young women pleased your boy and found favor with him, he an eunuch now. What are they doing to please him? All right, let's get past that. He quickly provided her with beauty preparations. All right, so he had to find them like, aesthetically, and her portion of food, and he gave her 7 choice maids from the king's palace. Damn, how many of them he did that for? He say how many. Then he transferred her and her maids to the best place in the harem. Esther did not reveal that she was Jewish. Mordecai had told her not to. Every day, Mordecai walked back and forth in front of the courtyard of the harem to learn how Esther was getting along and what was happening to her. Jeez, man. When it was each young woman's turn, to go before King Xerxes after the end of her 12 months. It takes 12 months to prepare though. After the end of her 12 months, under the regulations for the women, for their beautification were completed as follows: 6 months of oil of myrrh, and 6 months of sweet spices and perfumes, and the beauty preparations for women. Hey, that sin ain't coming off, man. I'm sorry. 6 months of it. Ooh-wee. Then the young woman would go before the king in this way. Anything that she wanted was given. Anything that she wanted was given her to take with her. Okay, from the harem into the king's palace. In the evening, she would go in, and the next morning, she would return to the second harem, to the custody of Shagaz, another eunuch. She would not return to the king unless he delighted in her, and she was summoned by name. I'm just probably reading delighted too heavy. When you're an eunuch, you can't, you know what I mean? Now, as far as Esther, there's a lot of recapping right here. She requested, okay, so when it became her turn to go into the king, she requested nothing except what Haggai, the king's eunuch and attendant who was in charge of the women, and Esther found favor in the sight of all who saw her. So Esther was taken to King Xerxes to his royal palace in the 10th month, in the 7th year of his reign. Now the king loved Esther more than all the other women. She found favor and kindness with him more than all the other virgins. So that he set the royal crown on her head and made her queen in place of Vashti. Then the king held a great banquet, Esther's banquet, for all his officials and his servants, and he made a festival for the provinces and gave gifts in accordance with the resources of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate. Esther still ain't told him nothing about, you know what I mean, my background and all that. I don't even know how they really need to know at this point. You queen, I'll just ride that out. All right, skip down to 21. Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate. Two of the eunuchs guarding the door became angry and conspired to attack Xerxes. But the plot became known to Mordecai. I mean, he always walking around. Who told Queen Esther? Queen Esther told the king. How you find out, Mordecai? Then the king went and hanged both of them. Okay. Yeah. Best storyteller ever. Okay, should I start? Nah, let's go ahead and stop right here at the top of 3. We'll go ahead and stop right here. All right, thanks for reading the Bible with Loke. Till next time, stay at it. Stay at it. Your daily routine with him, no matter how small, just stay at it. It'll pay off.